Now that we're comfortable graphing the sine and cosine functions, we're going to turn our attention to how we can sketch the function of y is equal to tangent theta. And again, we're going to use our unit circle as a guide to help us figure out what some of the ordered pairs are going to look like on our tangent function. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to start at 0 over here in the unit circle. Now recall that tangent is the ratio of y to x. So if you take a look at 0, the y value is 0, the x value is 1. 0 divided by 1 is 0. So that means at 0, our tangent function is equal to 0. Now let's go over here to pi over 2. Okay, so again, if we look at the ordered pairs, we have x is 0 and y is 1. We're calling the tangent is the ratio of y over x. 1 divided by 0 is undefined, which means at pi over 2, we're going to have something that's undefined, which also means we have a vertical asymptote. So at pi over 2, the function's never going to cross there, which means we have a vertical asymptote. Okay, let's continue on this path, and let's get to negative 1, 0. We have a y value of 0 and x value of negative 1. 0 divided by negative 1 is 0. Continuing on at 3 pi over 2, y and x, negative 1 divided by 0 is also undefined. So that means at 3 pi over 2, we're going to get something that's undefined. At 2 pi, we're going to go back, and I hope you can see that we're going to get the same thing we have for 0, which is 0. And if we were to continue, 5 pi over 2 is the same thing as saying 2.5 pi's. So we go 2 pi's and a half more. We have, again, that 1 divided by 0, which is undefined. And if we go to 3 pi, here's 1 pi, 2 pi, 3 pi's, negative 1 comes 0, 0 divided by negative 1 is 0. Let's go backwards now, and let's see what happens if we go to negative pi over 2. So negative pi over 2 means we're going to go down over here. Negative pi over 2 means that we have an ordered pair of 0 and negative 1. Negative 1 divided by 0 is also undefined. And if we go all the way over here to pi, we'll see that we're going to end up with 0 again. So what's happening here? So here's the interesting thing about tangent, and then we're going to talk about what the period is and the domain and the range and everything else we looked at before. We don't just have a series of points and asymptotes. We actually have some smooth functions, but remember, we're missing all of these values in between. So let's think about some values that we know. Well, remember we talked about this idea of pi over 6. We talked about pi over 4, and we talked about what else? We talked about pi over 3. So at pi over 4, we have an ordered pair. Let's do pi over 4 first. We're going to use that as our benchmark. We have an ordered pair of square root of 2 over 2, square root of 2 over 2. And when we divide the x and y value there, I hope you can see that we're going to get 1. So what that tells us, and this is pi over 4 right here, is that at pi over 4 we have 1. Now let's see what's happening in negative pi over 4. So if we go in this direction, this over here would be negative pi over 4. Remember, our x and y values are going to be the same. However, because we are in quadrant 4, we know we're going to have positive x's and negative y's. So it appears like this: square root of 2 over 2, negative square root of 2 over 2. And when we divide them at negative pi over 4, we are going to get negative 1. Let's graph this here at negative 1. And in fact, if you see, the closer we get to pi over 2, our values are going to get really big. And the closer we get to negative pi over 2, our values are going to get really small. So we have shouldn't have done that. I don't know how to undo it, so I'll just erase this. So we have, in essence, this function that looks like a cubic function. And that cubic function, as you can kind of notice before we're repeating ourselves a little bit, that cubic function is going to repeat infinitely to the left and infinitely to the right. And that cubic function is going to hit here at the 0 of each one and approach positive infinity on the right and negative infinity on the left. So this is the graph of y is equal to tangent of theta. Let's talk about all those definitions that we looked at before. Let's talk first of all about the domain, and then let's talk about the range. Let's say the domain first. Well, the domain of this function is all reals except whenever we have an asymptote. Let's take a look at when we have an asymptote. Well, we have an asymptote at half a pi. We have an asymptote at 3 pi over 2, which is the same thing as saying 1.5 pi's. So we can call that 1 plus 1/2 a pi. We have an asymptote over here at 5 pi over 2, which is the same thing as saying 2.5 pi's. We also have an asymptote over here at negative pi over 2, which is the same thing as saying, let's see, how can we talk about that? Negative 1 plus 1/2 pi, which means that our domain is all reals except x cannot equal any half a pi plus, so we have the half a pi here, plus any type of integer value of pi, 1, 2, -1, -2, and that would happen. So we do it like this. We call it all reals except x cannot equal pi over 2, half a pi plus n pi. And remember what n means. N means any integer value of pi. So n can be, let me write this over here where n is an integer. N can be any integer value, so -1, -2, -3, -4. Okay, so here's the domain of this function, the range of the tangent function. If you look, the y values, the range is going to be all reals, right? We're traveling up to positive infinity, we're going down to negative infinity, so the range is all reals. Okay, so we have a domain of all real, we have a range of all reals. We also talked about the period of the function. And in terms of the period, remember, it's the measure of when we start the function to when we stop the function. We have a natural starting and stopping point here at our vertical asymptotes. We have to figure out how much, let me put that in another color. We have to figure out how many units this is over here because this is one complete period of that function. So, okay, from -1/2 to +1/2, well, from -1/2 to 0, that has a distance of 1/2, and from 0 to pi over 2, that has a distance of 1/2 pi also. 1/2 plus 1/2 is 1 pi. So my claim is that all of these are pi units apart. Think about it. Half a pi, which is what we're at over here, to 1.5 pi's. Well, we just traveled 1 pi. 1.5 pi's, which is where we're at over here, to 2.5 pi's. We just traveled 1 pi. So we have a period of 1 pi. Something interesting about the tangent function is amplitude doesn't exist. Remember what amplitude represented before. Amplitude was if we multiplied the outside of a function, it's that vertical pull on the function in either direction. So it's going to be a vertical stretch or a horizontal shrink, a vertical stretch or a vertical shrink. But the tangent function doesn't have amplitude because it's already going up from positive infinity to negative infinity. So we don't define amplitude for tangent. Again, what you need to remember, the most important part of this, is the fact that we're going from -pi/2 to pi/2. And every 0, take a look, pi, 2 pi, 3 pi, every unit of pi of the natural tangent function is going to be a 0. And then you want to draw a cubic function through each 0 that you have. And we're surrounded by vertical asymptotes on each side, on each unit of pi/2 plus n pi. Around the function.